All right, it's 6 o'clock. Go ahead and call this meeting to order. Can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Perez,
Here.
Vice Chair Jamu,
Here.
Chair Condit.
Here. All right, can you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Moving on to citizens' communication. While the Planning Commission welcomes and encourages participation in the Planning Commission meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the Planning Commission from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Planning Commission. Citizens are entitled to address the Planning Commission on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Is there anybody tonight that would like to make public comment? Anybody on Zoom, emails, anything?
There are no hands raised and there were no emails received.
Okay, go ahead and close citizens' communication. Moving on to the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine in nature and will be enacted by a single motion unless otherwise requested by an individual commissioner or the public for special consideration. Otherwise, the recommendation of staff will be to accepted and acted upon by roll call vote. Anybody from the commission that would like to pull an item?
No.
Anybody from the public? Seeing none, bring it back for a motion on consent calendar.
Chair Condit,
Yep.
FME, can you ask if there's any conflict of interest that anyone needs to declare?
Sorry about that. Any conflict of interest on the agenda? Seeing none? Okay. For consent calendar, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve the consent calendar.
We got a first and a second. Who got a roll call?
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez,
Aye.
is your mic on?
Aye.
Vice Chair Jamu,
Aye.
Chair Condit.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right. Moving on to public hearings. We'll start with item number 5.
Your mic is muted, Tom.
There we go. Good evening. Can you guys hear me all right?
We still can't hear you.
Still nothing?
We can't hear you. Can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can. Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah. Let's see. Just one moment here.
Try now. Unmute your mic.
How's that?
Still can't hear you.
Nothing? Let's see. I'm gonna just log
I'm going to
in.
remove you as a panelist and add you back and see if that makes a difference.
I'll just log out and log back in here. Is that any better?
Can't hear you.
Nothing? Oh no. Let's see. You'll have to give me a second to troubleshoot this. I'm not sure
We
what's
can't hear
going
you.
on. Let's see.
If you want to maybe go to a break for a few moments.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take our 10-minute recess.
Thank you. Hello? Can you hear me now?
Tom, go ahead and try talking again, please.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
We're still not able to hear you. We're told that they can hear you on Zoom, but we can't hear you in the council chambers.
Okay. So I think my audio should be going through, but it looks like you guys, it's with the speakers. Hello? Oh, hey, sorry about this. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Oh, can you hear me now? Anything? No? Oh, no. I guess it, So it seems like my audio is getting picked up. There's a disconnect on your end.
Can you hear me? No. No. Okay.
Yeah, can't hear it. Okay, I'm gonna sound. Test, test.
That's better. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me on Zoom now? Good evening. Oh, sorry for the delay here. I wanted to be in person, and this is what happens when it's not.
Okay, that's not going to work. We're going to try powering the system and see if we can't get the Zoom and the audio to work correctly.
Okay, sounds good.
You guys hear me on Zoom?
We are all good. We'll get your
Yeah.
presentation up in just a moment and we can go ahead and start the presentation.
Thank you so much. All right. You guys all. I'm sorry. I'm getting quite a bit of interference.
I'm not sure why. Let us look at a few things.
It's just let me know.
Go ahead and try again, Tom.
Hello? Oh, it's all right. I can work with it. So tonight, after this delay, we're going to get started with the agenda item 5. It's going to be a recommendation to the city council for the zoning text amendment. And because this is a zoning ordinance change, it must go through the commission. So once we have that presentation pulled up, we go ahead and get started. So this is going to be a component of the comprehensive update the city is doing to cannabis regulation. Next slide, please. So the city is in the middle of updating its cannabis business regulations after numerous public discussions. The city council had asked staff if they can take sort of the following three steps. The first is going to be cannabis business tax rate. The second is going to be updating Chapter 5.2, which is the current cannabis business pilot program to a permanent structure. And the third one is going to be adding Chapter 8.43 cannabis conditions permits. And that third one is focusing on. The other two they've been drafted, but they haven't gone to the city yet. Those are not being presented tonight, but some of those components are going to be tied to the conditional use permits. So next slide, please. So with this change, the following three entitlements are what the city proposed to use to regulate businesses. So the city business license is going to tie into taxes. The development agreements are a current requirement, are still going to be used, but then we're adding the conditional permits. Currently, a municipal code does not require conditional use permits or conditional use permits for cannabis businesses, and it's almost silent to the cannabis business within the city. So this is going to give the municipal code the ability to address those things when it comes to zoning. Next slide, please. So use permits, the city decided that this would be the main vehicle that they're going to use to condition this operation. The development agreement might supplement them, but this is where the bulk of the cannabis rate is going to be housed, as you can see in the zoning ordinance. So you'll see all of those sort of on businesses and their operations. And so these conditional permits can be broken down into four different buckets that we can take individually. The application, the conditions of approval, enforcement, and zones that are going to be impacted. Next slide, please. So the applications are going to be a bit of a hybrid between the current conditional permit procedure and sort of the current development agreement applications. So they're going to take the conditional use procedure, which you guys know well, which is a public hearing and planning commission approval, by the planning commission appealable to the council. But it's going to use the information that is being used for development agreements, just so the city can clear those streamline things. I think the major change is going to be the background check requirement. So currently, the requirement in the current drafted business cannabis business chapter 5.2. That's going to require background checks, and the indemnification agreements are going to allow the applicant to pay for entitlements and indemnify the city. The only difference with the development agreement and the CUP application is going to be the additional information that planning staff of the applicants to let this a little more flexible for the staff, so they can express whatever information that they deem relevant. Next slide, please. So really what the main thing that these permits are doing are conditioning the operation and the use of the property as a business. And so one of the big drivers for this is enforcement, and the city's enforcement option that's straightforward and it's readily accessible when they're issued. And these conditions might be obvious, but the city really needs something in its so that it can tweet and say, you're violating, this is grounds for an action, and so it's a effective enforcement. One reason why you'll see in the conditions of a lot of it is sort of stems from state law requirements. Some of it is almost identical to the state law requirements. And that's because the city needs to have that in the code to take that enforcement action. The city can't enforce state law without a determination from the state. So they're incorporated into municipal code, it's determination, and then enforce things rapidly instead of having the need like the Department of Cannabis to issue some sort of notice or something like that. So these are the straight general ones. You have to obtain and maintain all state licenses and city entitlements, including that development agreement. You're going to have to comply with state law regulation and municipal code, and you're going to need to pay the cannabis business tax. So those are the foundational requirements. Everything is going to be required to next slide, please. And so a little bit more nuanced is conditioning specific of these businesses. So these businesses are unique in that they have there's quite a few different types of them, and each one of them has the need and way that the city needs to address its operations. So the scheme that we're using is partly derived from state law. And so the state law requires that every cannabis business have what they call a security plan, and they use those security plans which are submitted by the businesses, and they incorporate them into their permits. So those standards that those plans set forth become the requirements for permits. So we've kind of taken that and just expanded it to these different types of different portions of this. So it won't apply to every business. For example, cultivation and manufacturing, that's the top style of business you're operating. But this gives the city some flexibility in allowing it to come up with requirements that are reasonable and meet state law, city law. And so what will happen is, for example, an applicant will order a plan, and the staff will read the plan, make sure it's adequate, and then it go to the planning commission, the cannabis conditional application. The planning commission change the standards in there, or remove things, add things, and then that in turn just turns into conditional approval. So you can kind of see that process. And because these businesses are so unique and the regulations are changing, we found that this is the best way to sort of have a broad conditions while not having to inundate the code with lengthy sections to cover every circumstance. So next slide, please. Okay, and moving on to enforcement. Enforcement with conditional use permits, as you know, can be kind of black and white. As revocation, that real big lever we can pull to identify, move along with violation conditions of approval. So with that in mind, the city wanted to set up something that would just to address maybe minor violation and allow this to stay open, an opportunity for. So this isn't in front of you now, but in section 5.22, the proposed chapter, violations of conditional use permits are going to be violations of chapter, and they'll be eligible for administrative citations with their own schedule by $5,000. This way, the city can issue fines by allowing this to stay open for more minor things. And the second enforcement option is going to be the development agreements, and that's going to allow the city to temporarily suspend business operations violations of this conditional use permit. So it'll give them a bit of kind of a medium enforcement option there. Next slide, please. And then so these are going to be conditionally used for the zones that businesses will be allowed as uses. These are zones that staff thought were appropriate. The current cannabis businesses in the city are in the Community 50 zone and industrial zone, which is substantially similar to light industrial, but it's a specific zone in the road specific plan. But so this where cannabis was may be cited, provided that they obtained a conditional use permit. And then this final slide here. And so these are going to be some things that you may consider changing, just different portion of the cannabis conditional structure. So the application procedure, if you want to see conditions of approval, if you want to change enforcement procedures, or if you want to change benefits. So there's a lot of information in this ordinance. Going to be a brand new chapter, so everything is new. So obviously didn't address everything. If you have any specific questions, I'm to answer them for you. And so that's sort of general overview of the cannabis permits.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Public hearing is now open. Is there anyone in the chambers that would like to make public comment?
Dave Pratt of Ceres. Are you looking at getting more dispensaries here in Ceres, or are you just changing the rules on the dispensaries you already have here? The
city council is thinking about putting a cap on the number of dispensaries. They haven't made it yet, but it's didn't contemplate it.
You understand that, Mr. Pratt? Do you hear that?
You know, that the way neither one of us understood anything he said through the thing, but reading through this stuff, the dispensaries that you have here, I thought we were limited in how many was going to be here. But then you're changing the rules. It looks like that you may be trying to get some more dispensaries here in Ceres.
So there's no referring to that.
So we're changing the rules on the dispensaries we already have here.
The current dispensaries each have conditional use permits. Those ones will be dated to cannabis conditional use permits, but it'll be substantially the same expiration. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, basically, I think you should have had in-house on this instead, because you're getting not too good a reception it sounds like you're yelling and it's coming in that really only go by the words on the screen, because what you're saying, nobody understands.
My apologies.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we're looking at more dispensaries?
Based on the answer from the attorney, the city council is considering capping the number of dispensaries. Mr. Warren?
John Warren, City of Ceres. Good evening, commissioners and staff. I couldn't understand a word that gentleman said. You could catch one or two here or there. I did kind of go through the staff report, which is kind of what he was referring to, I do believe. I don't think this is going to qualify for a public hearing. I don't know if anybody goes on YouTube can understand this any better than we can here. So I just think what happened here was just a waste of your time and my time and the rest of the citizens that aren't here's time that might be interested in this. I understand that they want to change the ordinance from the pilot program and establish guidelines going into the future. But doing it in this fashion, I don't think is acceptable and meets the requirements of having a public hearing where the public can understand what that gentleman said and ask an intelligent question. Because Mr. Pratt asked him what the plan was, and I couldn't understand his answer, and neither did Mr. Pratt. And I don't know if you folks up there did, so I don't know how you could vote on this tonight. I don't think you can. I think this needs to be done in a manner where the general public can understand what's being presented. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Anybody on Zoom or any other public comment? City Clerk?
There were no emails received, and we don't have any hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission for comments, questions, action.
Yeah, I agree that I think we should push it out to where we can understand what was being said on the call.
I would concur with that.
Yeah, I agree as well. Tom, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I think it would be beneficial if we had the Zoom figured out for the next meeting, or you're in person. I think this is a very important topic that may require some additional questions. And I would kind of echo what Mr. Warren said. Parts of your presentation you could hear, parts of it we couldn't. So I apologize for the inconvenience, but I would agree with my fellow commissioners. Dory, I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, no, that sounds reasonable. What is our next step? Do we push it to the next?
Is there any sort of time frame that this needs to be approved by, the first of the year? I mean, where are we looking on that? Is there any sort of guidelines that we have to hit?
No timing requirement.
Okay, then yeah, I would motion to hear this item at our next Planning Commission meeting.
If I may ask clarification, Tom, do we need to, would this be a continuation of the public hearing, or do we need to renotice it as a new public hearing?
Let's continue it so we don't have to. It's a 20-day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with motioning to continue the item at our next meeting.
Okay, so we'll motion to continue it to the next Planning Commission meeting, which is scheduled for when, Julian?
January 5th is what the agenda says, but.
So on January 5th, I don't know if we'll have a quorum, so we could push it to the first February Planning Commission meeting, because of the second one is a holiday. And then also in February, I believe there's another holiday, so we can push for the first one in February.
So we would push it to February 2nd, 2026, or continue the public hearing to February 2nd, 2026.
Correct.
Sounds good. Can we get a motion? or I motion, you get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, your roll call. I was first.
Commissioner Jamu,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez,
Aye.
Chairperson Condit.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Alrighty, we will move on to item 6. I'm not sure who has the presentation on this one.
Good evening, Chair and Commission. This evening, request is for a site approval for the East Whitmore Avenue duplex and ADU project. The proposal includes a duplex with an attached ADU on a 5,449 square foot parcel located at 2436 East Whitmore Avenue within the Ceres Downtown Specific Plan boundary. Next slide. This project site is currently vacant and surrounded by existing residential development. The application proposes a 2-story dwelling units and an attached ADU for a total of 3 residential units within one structure. Next slide. I'm okay with it.
Do you guys just want to come sit closer so you can hear the microphone? You still can't hear up here? Well, I think we can make a motion. 'Cause I think that's the only way we're going to be able to proceed. Why don't you gentlemen just grab a chair? Okay, but are the speakers working on that one? Sometimes.
John, come take my seat.
You guys can come closer or we will make a motion.
Well, we hear you okay. It was just the online guy.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing any more Zoom comments, so.
All right, project details. We'll start here. The project site is currently vacant and surrounded by existing residential development with application. The application proposes a 2-story dwelling unit with an attached ADU for a total of 3 residential units within one structure. Next slide. The site is on the southwest corner of East Whitmore Avenue and 6th Street. In the downtown specific plan, the surrounding neighborhood is predominantly residential. Next slide. The downtown residential designation allows attached single-family and multifamily housing types. Based on density standards, the duplex components fit squarely within the allotted residential density range, and the ADU is not counted toward density per state ADU law. Slide. The Eastern District supports both attached single-family units and multifamily units. A duplex is permitted principal use, and ADUs are permitted by right. Site plan approval is the discretionary action required for this application. Next slide. The project features a single building footprint that contains both primary units and the attached ADU. Parking spaces are accessed from 6th Street, and all circulation allows for forward vehicular movement onto the roadway. Next slide. These renderings shows the completed structure as viewed from all 4 sides. The design features clean, modern residential architecture with a 2-story massing that stays compatible with the scale of the surrounding neighborhood. The primary building materials consist of natural siding with contrasting trim, which helps breaks up the building form and provide visual interest. This is a component infill residential project that supports increased housing opportunities in the downtown area and aligns with the walkable character envisioned in the specific plan. Next slide. The project provides market rate infill housing that expands residential options in downtown while reinforcing the small town urban from the city aims to strengthen. The project exceeds all development standards of the downtown specific plan, including setbacks, building height, and parking. Staff recommends approval. Oh, next slide, sorry. Staff recommends approval of the specific plan 2527, and that concludes my presentation this evening.
Thank you, Julian. Go ahead and open the public hearing. Anybody in the chambers that would like to comment on this item?
Good evening, John Moore, City of Ceres. I had a chance to kind of look at this from the staff notes, but on the blueprint or whatever diagram, it was kind of hard to tell if there's going to be any garages where you can park a car inside a garage like you do at a normal residence. I didn't see that, and I saw basically parking for 5 vehicles when you probably need a minimum of at least 6, 2 for each habitable space, I would think would be normal. On a normal residential home, you have 2 in the garage and 2 in the driveway for a minimum of 4 is what is required. I don't know if a duplex is different, but I would think that each unit there would have at least 2 parking spots. And I don't know if any of these are indoor parking or under a cover or any carport or anything like that. I didn't hear anything, and I couldn't really see anything on the diagram earlier. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
There are no hands raised and there were no emails received.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public comment period, bring it back to the commission. Julian, can you kind of just touch on Mr. Warren's question as far as the parking spots go?
Yes, there is 2 carports that are covered underneath, as you can see. I'm trying to see which slide it was. You could go to the architecture renderings. I think it's slide 7. Right there. Go back one. So there's to the top left there, it's going to be a covered parking area for 2 vehicles. And the parking, I believe, calls for 1.5 for each unit and 1 for the ADU. So they have 5, so they have enough parking for that site.
There's 3 additional.
There's 3 additional parkings
next
on
slide.
the uncovered.
Yeah, there's 3 uncovered parking and then 2 underneath the roof.
So is that considered a carport?
It doesn't have to be because they just have to have 1 car that's covered. So 1 like garage type for 1 vehicle. So that's those 2 cars that are underneath the carport for the units themselves. And then the ADU does not have to have a covered parking. It just has to have a parking. And then the 2 additional parkings that are there to the bottom right-hand corner would be the 2 additional parkings for the units. So each unit will have 1 covered, 1 uncovered, and then the ADU will have just that 1 uncovered parking.
Any questions from commissioners? And this current design doesn't interfere with our municipal code as far as carports and that sort of design? Can you kind of state why? Because I'm kind of curious.
So the carport itself is, I believe, on top is going to be the ADU unit. So it's all one building. It's not actually a carport.
Separate.
So it's all, yeah, it's a unit in itself. So it's not a separate carport as
Detached.
It's not a detached one.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Any other questions from commission?
And I would say, and I would apologize, it's not a carport, it's just a covered parking.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think the carport, that kind of threw me
yes,
a little
it
bit.
gets confusing.
Yeah.
So, this would be covered parking under the ADU that would be on that particular site.
Okay. All right, well, if there's no other questions of staff, I'll go ahead and look for a motion.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Got a first and a second. Can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Jamu,
Aye.
Chair Condit.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right, moving on to unfinished business, none. New business, none. Matters initiated by the Planning Commission staff, none. Reports. I would just like to, this is Commissioner Johnson's last Planning Commission meeting. He's been on the commission since 2017. Got to serve with 2 conduits, my brother Cooper and myself now. So it's been an honor to work alongside you, Dave. I know you love Ceres, and you've been a great mentor of mine for a number of years. And in this line of work, when you're an appointed commissioner, elected official, you have to have the courage to vote no sometimes. And you've done that on numerous occasions, what you feel is best for Ceres, and I respect that about you. And I will carry that along with me as I stick here on the Planning Commission. So thank you for your service.
Gary, thank you very much. I've had the pleasure of meeting some great people, working with Bob, Gary, Lori, Cooper, a number of different people coming through these doors. Interesting, me stepping away, but it is what it is. I'm an old guy. I'm set in my ways, and it's frustrating sometimes. But I expect good things to happen with this group. I wish everybody the best of luck. The 2 gentlemen over here that monthly put a smile on my face. I appreciate Dave and John. Thank you guys very much for being here all the time. And I just want to thank everybody so much.
Thank you, Dave. Anybody else? All right, staff, any reports? Anything?
I just want to introduce the new planning tech for the planning department, Ms. Stephanie Davis. And so she's started this week and she came back. So we thank you and we welcome her to the planning.
Welcome to the team. All righty, we'll go ahead and adjourn to the next regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting on January 5th, 2026.
You all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's.